This girl is a game designer. Her name is Qiu Fei. Though only 28 in her mother's eyes, Qiu Fei is like a ticking time bomb. Her mom gave her a chance to bring her boyfriend home for the Lunar New Year, otherwise, don't even think of calling her. To keep the peace, Qiu Fei decided to spend a lot of money to have her friend, Jin Ming, find out who the most popular guy at the art academy was. Even though the price was 1,000 yuan a day, Qiu Fei still chose Ji Xuan. Before signing the contract, Ji Xuan only had one condition: Qiu Fei couldn't fall for him. Going home for the Lunar New Year, Qiu Fei met her mother, Mrs. Fang, who was being teased by the neighbors because her daughter didn't have a boyfriend. She quickly brought Ji Xuan to meet her family, helping her mother gain face with the neighbors. During the meal, Ji Xuan listened to his girlfriend's mother and called her Mom. Qiu Fei's father wondered why Ji Xuan came to his girlfriend's house for the new year, not worrying about his parents being sad at home. Ji Xuan confided that he was an orphan since childhood, so he decided everything himself. After drinking a bit too much, Qiu Fei's mom helped her husband to his room. Qiu Fei took Ji Xuan to the guest room, but it was messy and hadn't been cleaned, so she took him to her room instead. But her mom had a surprise waiting for them. Mrs. Fang even put away all the extra bedding so Ji Xuan wouldn't have to sleep on the floor. Knowing his girlfriend's mom wouldn't easily give up, Ji Xuan advised Qiu Fei to do as her mother wanted. As a result, Qiu Fei hugged Ji Xuan and slept until morning. Waking up, Qiu Fei anxiously ran out of bed. Ji Xuan confirmed that nothing happened between them. He reminded her to pay him for yesterday's work. Instead of Qiu Fei paying him directly, Ji Xuan told her to relax about his acting skills. If needed, he was willing to be her boyfriend for next year's Lunar New Year, and the year after that. Qiu Fei believed her mother wouldn't push her to get married for the next 3 years. She figured next year's New Year would be the passionate phase of their relationship, then they'd break up 2 years later due to incompatibility, and she'd need another year to heal. That's why she invested 3,000 yuan to buy 3 years of peace. However, something unexpected happened. Qiu Fei's mother insisted her future son-in-law stay a little longer. Qiu Fei worried her mother would discover something unusual. Ji Xuan thought everything could be solved with money. He suggested his client extend their contract. Qiu Fei negotiated, cutting the rental fee in half for a month, with the condition of limited physical contact. Ji Xuan pointed out that physical contact was an additional service, charged by the centimeter. Qiu Fei had worked hard for years and could afford this. She decided to sign a 1-month contract with Ji Xuan. Even now, Ji Xuan's only condition was that Qiu Fei couldn't fall for him. During dinner, Mrs. Fang served her son-in-law a lot of food. Because of the money, Ji Xuan ate everything to please his girlfriend's mother. Worried about his waistline, which had already increased a few sizes, Ji Xuan immediately started exercising to maintain his figure. With no one to help, Ji Xuan asked Qiu Fei to measure his body measurements. Qiu Fei shyly pushed Ji Xuan away. She thought he was taking advantage of the job to get something extra from her. Ji Xuan advised his client to think more positively. Ji Xuan was stunned when he saw that all his measurements had increased. He blamed himself for losing his sharp jawline. Ji Xuan argued that consuming over 1,000 calories at each of Mrs. Fang's meals was an occupational hazard for him. Hearing Ji Xuan's complaints, Qiu Fei agreed to pay him extra. While taking a walk, Qiu Fei ran into an old friend named Pei Yong. He sneered, saying she had a fear of men, which is why she was still single. Ji Xuan appeared just in time. He introduced himself as Qiu Fei's boyfriend. Ji Xuan reminded his girlfriend to stay away from guys who don't wear masks in the future. Ji Xuan's heroic rescue of the damsel left an impression on Qiu Fei. She excitedly sketched his portrait, making it the main character in her new game. Jin Ming discovered that Qiu Fei's drawing was Ji Xuan. She reminded her friend not to confuse her rented boyfriend with reality. Qiu Fei clarified that she only found inspiration from Ji Xuan's image as a man wearing a mask. Jin Ming scolded her friend, saying she shouldn't get involved with a man like Ji Xuan. Qiu Fei admitted her heart beat faster every time she saw Ji Xuan. Furthermore, she wanted to spend even more money on him. The dream of kissing a handsome guy finally came true for the 28-year-old single woman. Well, in her dream, seeing Qiu Fei's furtive glances, Ji Xuan suspected she had fallen for him. He reminded Qiu Fei to absolutely not fall for him. Qiu Fei immediately denied it, but still secretly looked at Ji Xuan. He questioned why Qiu Fei was staring at him. Qiu Fei claimed she was just working. Ji Xuan asked her to show him her tablet. Just as Mrs. Fang brought fruit for the two of them, Chu Fei quickly showed affection towards Ji Xuan. Waiting for her mother to go out, Ji Xuan started calculating the charges with his client. He explained that Chu Fei had touched his 23 cm arm, costing 23,000 yuan. Chu Fei wondered why Ji Xuan, who had been so gentle when he rescued her, had now become a different person. He reminded Chu Fei that his attentiveness was just acting. His true self only cared about profit. Ji Xuan secretly hoped these words would make Chu Fei give up on him. Back in her room, Chu Fei complained to Jin Ming. She thought showing affection was a boyfriend's responsibility. Ji Xuan had tricked her, which is why he charged for physical contact. Chu Fei called to settle the bill with Ji Xuan. He asked for a day off to be a stand-in actor for a film crew. Chu Fei went to the film set. She was mesmerized by Ji Xuan's beauty in his costume. Witnessing him having to wade into the water repeatedly and being disrespected by the film crew, Chu Fei ran over to care for Ji Xuan. Chu Fei decided to stop charging him for physical contact. She promised to watch his movie when it was released. Ji Xuan explained that he was only a stand-in for the main character, so Chu Fei wouldn't see him in the movie. Chu Fei told Ji Xuan to be more confident because he was 10,000 times more handsome than the male lead. Back home, Chu Fei got inspired and designed a mythical game character. She called Jin Ming to complain because she couldn't resist Ji Xuan's charm and wanted to get the physical contact fee back. Jin Ming told Chu Fei to negotiate with Ji Xuan, saying that if there's no skin-to-skin contact, there shouldn't be any extra charges. The dream of a girl kissing a handsome guy came true again for the 28-year-old single woman. To deal with his client's new terms, Ji Xuan wore a sleeveless shirt to increase the chance of skin-to-skin contact. Chu Fei immediately covered herself up, only showing her eyes. During dinner, she bragged that she had an allergy and avoided contact. Chu Fei's parents worried and told their daughter to go to the hospital for a checkup. Ji Xuan quickly revealed that Chu Fei was sweating to lose weight. He hoped her mother wouldn't blame a girl who likes to be beautiful. Chu Fei thanked Ji Xuan for helping her out. Unexpectedly, he asked her to pay for handling the PR crisis, but Chu Fei wasn't easily fooled anymore. During dinner, Chu Fei's mother told her daughter to take off her gloves to eat. Ji Xuan cunningly asked Chu Fei for the vinegar. Unexpectedly, she was more alert. Seeing Chu Fei quickly leave, Ji Xuan tripped her. As a result, Ji Xuan charged 5,000 yuan, and he welcomed Chu Fei to jump into his arms again next time. Seeing her daughter focusing on her game, Mrs. Fang reminded Chu Fei to go see her boyfriend. Chu Fei said she and Ji Xuan were fighting. Hearing her mother telling her to make up with Ji Xuan, Chu Fei blamed her mother for favoring her son-in-law. Mrs. Fang reminded her daughter to hold on to Ji Xuan. After the holiday ended, they should quickly get married. Under her mother's pressure, Chu Fei asked Ji Xuan to spend time with her mother. Ji Xuan said he had worked over 8 hours a day. If he continued working, he'd have to charge overtime. To maintain peace, Chu Fei paid Ji Xuan overtime. Back in her room, Chu Fei angrily punched her plush duck. She wanted to buy new outfits for her game character, but discovered that she had almost spent all her money on Ji Xuan. Early in the morning, Chu Fei went to Ji Xuan's room to find his weakness. She tried to unlock Ji Xuan's phone, but he pulled her into his arms. Ji Xuan's charming pictures appeared on the screen, making Chu Fei shyly return to her room. It turned out Ji Xuan had deliberately teased her. Not giving up, Chu Fei secretly checked his phone while Ji Xuan was showering. She was angry to see a series of messages from other girls. Chu Fei wondered how he could be the boyfriend of so many girls without getting confused. Ji Xuan said that since Chu Fei hadn't signed an exclusive contract, she couldn't interfere in his other affairs. Chu Fei questioned him, saying he only tricked her, because several other girls said they weren't charged for physical contact. Chu Fei wondered why Ji Xuan treated her this way. Ji Xuan thought a rented boyfriend was just a transaction. All the kindness was fake, and all clients would understand this. However, Chu Fei had limited experience with men. Therefore, he had to be clear about the money to constantly remind Chu Fei that they only had a financial transaction. Ji Xuan planned to return the extra charges to Chu Fei after the contract ended. Chu Fei chuckled at Ji Xuan's self-admiration. She admitted she secretly looked at him to gather material for her game character. Chu Fei insisted she didn't need Ji Xuan, only the money. After settling the debt, Ji Xuan wanted to leave. Chu Fei quickly stopped him because it wouldn't be convenient to explain to her parents. Ji Xuan said her parents were going on a trip and wouldn't be back until next week. He would make an excuse about work to leave for the city early. Chu Fei asked Ji Xuan to extend their time together for a few more days so she could attend a class. While holding on to Ji Xuan, Chu Fei unfortunately sprained her waist. Conveniently, Ji Xuan had already prepared a massage tool for his client. Seeing her pain, he told Chu Fei to go to the hospital. At that moment, Mrs. Wang, their neighbor, came over with some local specialties. Seeing Chu Fei's sprained waist, Mrs. Wang told Ji Xuan to take good care of his girlfriend. Ji Xuan advised Chu Fei not to go to her class reunion because of her waist. Chu Fei insisted that she had to show off this year to her friends. Chu Fei threatened that if Ji Xuan didn't perform well, she would write a 1,000-word negative review of him. Back in her room, Chu Fei prepared for an online meeting. Ji Xuan unexpectedly came in, asking Chu Fei to measure his body for him. Unexpectedly, Chu Fei forgot to turn off the online meeting camera. Seeing Ji Xuan playing the role of someone else's boyfriend, Chu Fei accused him of living with her. As a result, the client's parents were angry, and Ji Xuan's contract was cancelled. He blamed her for causing trouble and affecting his work. Chu Fei thought she got nothing in return because she measured Ji Xuan's body. The whole company rumored that she was a man chaser. Ji Xuan was angry and firmly refused to go to the class reunion with Chu Fei. He said that the client would file a complaint against him. An additional accusation from Chu Fei wouldn't make a difference. Chu Fei quickly apologized to Ji Xuan. She confided that her classmate, Pei Yong, was the reason she developed a fear of men. Chu Fei recalled that Pei Yong had confessed his love to her in front of the whole school. After that, he constantly pressured Chu Fei to be his girlfriend. Seeing Ji Xuan's firm refusal, Chu Fei had to ask Jin Ming for help. At the class reunion, Jin Ming apologized for having an unexpected emergency and couldn't make it. Meeting Pei Yong, Chu Fei quickly left, but was stopped by the class monitor. In the game of Truth or Dare, Chu Fei lost in the first round. The class monitor asked Chu Fei to have a drinking toast with the person who had the highest card. Unexpectedly, it was Pei Yong. Ji Xuan appeared again when Chu Fei was at her most vulnerable. He introduced himself as her boyfriend. He took the penalty of drinking a toast with Chu Fei. Seeing her sore waist, Ji Xuan quickly carried Chu Fei away. Back home, they raised their glasses to celebrate their victory. Slightly drunk, Chu Fei thanked Ji Xuan for coming to find her. She praised Ji Xuan's heroic rescue as very cool. However, she would only fall for him when he stopped charging for his boyfriend's services. Ji Xuan confided that he needed to earn money for his studies. He was truly an orphan and had to support himself. Taking advantage of Chu Fei's moved state, Ji Xuan asked her to sign a cohabitation contract with him. Chu Fei thought Ji Xuan was entering his dreams again, so she unexpectedly kissed him. As a result, Ji Xuan didn't wear a shirt and spent the night in Chu Fei's room. He quickly explained that Chu Fei had vomited all over him. Ji Xuan helped Chu Fei back to her room, but she didn't let him go. Ji Xuan was drunk and fell asleep. At that moment, Jin Ming brought her boyfriend, Lin Ke, to visit her friend. Chu Fei blamed Jin Ming for enjoying singlehood and then suddenly falling in love. Jin Ming apologized for not being able to resist the younger man. However, Jin Ming's parents didn't approve and kicked her out of the house. Jin Ming had to bring her boyfriend to rely on Chu Fei for a few days. Chu Fei introduced the couple to Ji Xuan. Unexpectedly, he knew Lin Ke and said that Jin Ming and Ji Xuan were classmates. Although she was considered the school's flower, Ji Xuan had bad luck. He actively participated in films, acting from supporting roles to being a punching bag, but still had no fame. Meeting Jin Ming alone, Ji Xuan questioned her about why she hadn't told him about Lin Ke's identity. Jin Ming warned Ji Xuan not to interfere with her and Chu Fei's affairs. If Ji Xuan dared to have ulterior motives towards Chu Fei, she wouldn't hesitate to retaliate. Early in the morning, Chu Fei was surprised that her house was clean and tidy. Jin Ming bragged that Lin Ke had gotten up early to clean and cooked many delicious dishes for the two girls. Chu Fei was satisfied that she had finally escaped Ji Xuan's chicken breast dishes. Just as Ji Xuan went out for breakfast, Chu Fei was annoyed that Lin Ke was so attentive to Jin Ming, while her boyfriend was just a hired hand. Seeing Lin Ke taking care of Jin Ming, Chu Fei asked Ji Xuan to get her some soda. Ji Xuan refused because soda was bad for her health. Hearing Chu Fei compare him to Lin Ke, Ji Xuan insisted that he refused to provide boyfriend services outside of working hours. Chu Fei angrily went to her mother, confiding in Jin Ming that a real boyfriend was still better. Meanwhile, Ji Xuan questioned Lin Qi about why he was competing with him for boyfriend services. It turned out that Lin Qi was also Jin Ming's rented boyfriend. Lin Qi guessed that Ji Xuan had feelings for Chu Fei, which is why he was still involved with her. He advised his friend to put aside his pride and seize this difficult-to-avoid fate. Meanwhile, Jin Ming read the cohabitation contract between Chu Fei and Ji Xuan. She was upset that Ji Xuan was exploiting Chu Fei for money. Jin Ming confessed that Lin Qi was also a rented boyfriend. It turned out that Lin Qi was the one originally intended for Chu Fei. Because he was Jin Ming's type, she chose him and hired Ji Xuan for Chu Fei. Chu Fei blamed Jin Ming for keeping the golden card and giving her the silver card. However, Chu Fei didn't want to switch. To make amends, Jin Ming promised to train Ji Xuan to become a good boyfriend like Lin Qi. Jin Ming wanted to organize a competition, using some tricks to make Ji Xuan lose, and then she would make him sign a contract, selling himself. If Ji Xuan didn't participate, Jin Ming would kick him out. Ji Xuan overheard this and angrily left. Chu Fei stopped Jin Ming because she didn't want Ji Xuan to leave. Jin Ming thought this was the only way to make Ji Xuan listen. Back in his room, Ji Xuan packed his bags. He told Lin Qi that Chu Fei didn't need him anymore, so she was finding reasons to get rid of her. Afraid that Jin Ming would be next, Lin Qi suggested forming an alliance with Ji Xuan to make the two girls change their minds. He guaranteed he would make Chu Fei give Ji Xuan a 5-star rating. Jin Ming announced that she no longer needed a rented boyfriend. Therefore, she organized a competition to find the perfect person to continue her contract with Chu Fei. The loser would have to sign a new rental contract, actively doing housework and taking care of Chu Fei. Lin Qi realized this game was aimed at Ji Xuan. He wouldn't let Ji Xuan use him to deal with Jin Ming. Seeing Lin Qi happily agree, Ji Xuan knew he wasn't easily tricked. However, Ji Xuan agreed to compete with Lin Qi. Jin Ming explained the rules. The two teams would tie their legs together to get the ingredients. Then, the two contestants would slide into the kitchen to show off their cooking skills. The competition began, and Ji Xuan carried Chu Fei to get the ingredients. Ji Xuan's speed made Lin Qi unable to keep up. In the kitchen, Lin Qi was confident in his cooking skills. Ji Xuan also wouldn't give up on his specialty, chicken breast. Although Ji Xuan stole all the spices, Lin Qi used shrimp shells and seaweed to create a sweet and savory dish. As a result, he won against Ji Xuan. A man of his word, Ji Xuan signed the new contract. Jin Ming said the boyfriend's rent would be deducted from the house rent and living expenses. In addition, Ji Xuan had to take good care of Chu Fei. As a result, Ji Xuan had to bring food to her bed and massage Chu Fei. Seeing her unreasonable demands, Ji Xuan angrily went back to his room. Ji Xuan was depressed and drank heavily. Chu Fei wondered why it was so difficult for him to coax her. Ji Xuan insisted he wasn't a nanny. He decided to end the contract and leave. Chu Fei blamed Ji Xuan for being cowardly, running away after just signing the contract. Ji Xuan admitted that he didn't like being compared to Lin Qi. He knew that in Chu Fei's heart, a boyfriend like him wasn't good enough. However, he didn't want to become someone else. Back in her room, Chu Fei complained to Jin Ming that Ji Xuan was leaving. Jin Ming thought Chu Fei should find a new boyfriend. Seeing Chu Fei reluctant to leave Ji Xuan, Jin Ming worried she had fallen for him. Just then, Lin Qi entered the room. He knew Jin Ming and Chu Fei didn't like Ji Xuan's charging method. Looking at the old contract, Lin Qi guessed Ji Xuan had already returned the extra charges. Lin Qi talked about Ji Xuan's difficult family background. Thanks to his natural acting talent, he was admitted to the art academy. To make a living and pay for school, Ji Xuan actively worked as a rented boyfriend. In his 3rd year of university, a client, after the contract ended, wouldn't let go of Ji Xuan. She constantly texted and called him, and even went to his school to attempt suicide. His work as a rented boyfriend was exposed because the school banned it. Ji Xuan had to work as a day laborer at a construction site to survive. In his final year, Ji Xuan received an offer to act in a film, but he violated the contract. And to pay compensation, he had to continue working as a rented boyfriend. He set the rule of not letting his clients fall for him. Lin Qi guessed that Ji Xuan wanted to avoid a repeat of the bad experience, so he used the charging method to cut off Chu Fei's feelings. Seeing Ji Xuan, always smiling coldly but always appearing when she needed him most, Chu Fei didn't expect him to have suffered so much. The next morning, Chu Fei went downstairs to see Ji Xuan off. She apologized for organizing the competition, specifically targeting him. Chu Fei, said Ji Xuan, had done a good job as a rented boyfriend. She blamed herself for demanding too much. To make amends, Chu Fei gave him a painting as a farewell gift. She thanked him for always appearing when she needed him most. Chu Fei insisted she never wanted to replace Ji Xuan with Lin Ke, because in her heart, only Ji Xuan was her rented boyfriend. Therefore, she hoped he would stay. To celebrate Ji Xuan's return, Chu Fei organized a picnic. This time, Ji Xuan was more attentive and didn't bully Chu Fei anymore. The four friends had fun together, creating beautiful memories. Chatting with Chu Fei, Jin Ming wondered how her friend tamed Ji Xuan. Chu Fei thought a man's heart was like the bottom of the sea. She only said she wanted Ji Xuan to stay, and he obediently listened. After observing for a while, Jin Ming realized Ji Xuan wasn't a fickle person. She decided not to object to Chu Fei dating Ji Xuan seriously. Over drinks, Jin Ming wanted to play a finger-bending game. The first question was, who had already lost their first kiss? Chu Fei was disappointed to see Ji Xuan bend a finger. Jin Ming continued, asking who liked someone present to bend a finger. Chu Fei and Ji Xuan both didn't admit it because they were trying to test each other. Ji Xuan secretly bent a finger, but didn't let Chu Fei see. Slightly drunk, Chu Fei snuggled up to Ji Xuan. She jokingly asked who his first kiss was with. Ji Xuan had to remind her that they already knew each other, and Chu Fei wouldn't let him escape her lips. Waking up, Chu Fei thought she had just dreamt of kissing Ji Xuan. Seeing her avoiding him, Ji Xuan thought she was trying to deny responsibility. Just then, Chu Fei's father unexpectedly visited his daughter, and Jin Ming quickly took Lin Ke to hide. Ji Xuan quickly went to greet his future father-in-law. Seeing him discover a bag of dog biscuits, Ji Xuan quickly explained that he bought snacks for Chu Fei. Hearing the dog barking, Chu Fei's father went to the balcony to look. Chu Fei blamed her father for only caring about the dog and not paying attention to his daughter. Finally, Chu Fei managed to send her father away, and she and Ji Xuan breathed a sigh of relief, having avoided an imminent disaster. The next day, Chu Fei and Jin Ming rushed to prepare for the upcoming game launch. Seeing the two girls constantly playing a love game with a virtual male god, Lin Ke felt jealous that he couldn't compete with a fictional character for affection. Chu Fei and Jin Ming greatly praised the character in the game, handsome without flaws, and utterly loyal. They both thought they should spend money on this perfect boyfriend. Facing the risk of being abandoned, Ji Xuan formed an alliance with Lin Ke to fight against the male god in the game. They decided to play the game to understand each other and fight to win. Early in the morning, Lin Ke transformed into a refined gentleman, trying to charm Jin Ming. Unexpectedly, she was scared and ran into her room. Meanwhile, Ji Xuan took on the role of a domineering chairman, pressing his petite girlfriend against the wall. Chu Fei thought he was going crazy and hit Ji Xuan to wake him up. Hearing the two men wanted to imitate the character in the game, Chu Fei advised them to give up. Jin Ming said she liked the virtual male god, but didn't like real-life boyfriends being the same, because only the beauty in the painting allowed the virtual male god to do cheesy things without being disliked. Ji Xuan suggested he and Lin Ke model for the two girls to gather material for designing the dating game. Lin Ke admired Ji Xuan's strategy. Not only did he earn extra money, but he also made the two girls pay attention to their real-life boyfriends again. Celebrating the Lantern Festival, Chu Fei's parents came to visit their daughters. Jin Ming and Lin Ke temporarily stayed in the adjacent room. Seeing Jin Ming sad, Lin Ke advised her to call her parents and make up. Jin Ming knew she had been wrong to hire a boyfriend to deceive her parents. But if she went home, Lin Ke couldn't stay either. However, Lin Ke only cared about Jin Ming's happiness. He would handle everything himself. It turned out that from the first moment, Lin Ke had fallen for her. Jin Ming knew she was wrong, but she needed understanding from her parents. Therefore, she stayed until her parents realized their mistake. Finally, Lin Ke regained his girlfriend's favor. Seeing them together, Ji Xuan sighed because his girlfriend was still confiding in the male god in the game. He confided in his dog. Seeing Ji Xuan playing with the pet, Chu Fei secretly took pictures. Caught by Ji Xuan, Chu Fei claimed she was gathering material for the game design. Chu Fei asked for her phone, accidentally getting close to Ji Yuan, making both of them embarrassed. Seeing them happy together, Jin Ming suddenly had a new idea. After a while, Jin Ming unexpectedly announced that Chu Fei lost the game and had to give Ji Xuan to her. Seeing Qiu Fei only apologize, Ji Xuan blamed himself for not realizing she had been unhappy with him for a long time. He disappointedly left. Qiu Fei quickly ran after him, acting cute to ask for Ji Xuan's forgiveness. He questioned why she used him for a bet. Qiu Fei explained that she tried to trick herself into the bet. Unexpectedly, Jin Ming was serious and demanded Ji Xuan. Angry at Qiu Fei, Ji Xuan agreed to be Jin Ming's boyfriend. Lin Qi protested, because one mountain can't hold two tigers. Jin Ming immediately chose Ji Xuan to experience something new. Lin Qi, heartbroken, willingly offered his services to Qiu Fei. Seeing Qiu Fei run into her room, the other three smiled triumphantly. The next day, Ji Xuan cooked breakfast for Jin Ming. He was attentive, feeding his new girlfriend bite by bite. Meanwhile, Lin Qi made various flavored sandwiches for Qiu Fei. Seeing Jin Ming complaining about a sore shoulder, Ji Xuan immediately gave her a massage. He even agreed to call Jin Ming darling sister. Qiu Fei was angry that Ji Xuan had abandoned his principles. Ji Xuan didn't care and continued to bring fruit to his girlfriend. Seeing him feed Jin Ming bite by bite, Qiu Fei couldn't stand it and called her friend outside to talk. Back in her room, Qiu Fei asked Jin Ming to return Ji Xuan to her because she wasn't used to Lin Qi's attentiveness. Qiu Fei wondered if Jin Ming used money or force to tame Ji Xuan. Jin Ming thought Ji Xuan was just a pet. With skill, she could train him. Qiu Fei believed Ji Xuan wasn't like Lin Qi. He was hot-tempered and arrogant, but also very gentle. In Qiu Fei's heart, no one could replace Ji Xuan. Qiu Fei insisted that Ji Xuan belonged only to her. Unexpectedly, Ji Xuan outside had heard all of Qiu Fei's heartfelt words. It turned out that Jin Ming had gone to find Ji Xuan. She boasted that Qiu Fei's fear of men was actually quite serious. After being teased by Pei Yong, Qiu Fei became very hesitant to talk to men. However, Qiu Fei didn't dislike Ji Xuan at all. She even actively interacted with him. Jin Ming hoped Ji Xuan could bring true happiness to Qiu Fei. Ji Xuan hesitated because Qiu Fei didn't seem to like him very much. Jin Ming came up with a plan to force Qiu Fei to understand her own heart. Qiu Fei blamed the three of them for tricking her. Just then, her mother unexpectedly came home. Qiu Fei told everyone to quickly hide in the closet. She was so flustered that she also pulled Ji Xuan into the closet. Qiu Fei wanted to go out but was pulled back by Ji Xuan. He worried her mother would think they were doing something inappropriate in the room. Outside, Mrs. Fang discovered dog hair all over the house and other unusual things. She immediately went into Qiu Fei's room and found the two hiding in the closet. Jin Ming also didn't escape her adoptive mother's sharp eyes. Qiu Fei's father came home and found the four of them kneeling on the floor. To investigate what had happened, Mrs. Fang decided to question each person. Starting with Jin Ming, she said her parents disapproved of Lin Qi's background, so they prevented her from dating him. She asked her adoptive mother to let her stay for a few days, so her parents could realize their mistake. Meeting Lin Qi, Mrs. Fang advised him to find a job and not always be around Jin Ming. Lin Qi insisted he genuinely liked Jin Ming. He accidentally revealed that he decided not to be a rented boyfriend anymore and wanted to be with Jin Ming wholeheartedly. Mrs. Fang was stunned to hear about the rented boyfriend. She guessed Ji Xuan was also Qiu Fei's rented boyfriend. Ji Xuan's turn came. She showed her future son-in-law childhood photos of Qiu Fei. She confided that after high school, her daughter had developed a fear of men. Ji Xuan said that Qiu Fei was very natural when she was with him. However, he still wanted to take her to see a psychologist. Mrs. Fang thanked Ji Xuan for caring about Qiu Fei's condition. Finally, it was Qiu Fei's turn. Mrs. Fang questioned her daughter about signing a love contract to deceive her parents. She told her daughter to quickly tell Ji Xuan to leave. If she didn't love him, she should end the relationship quickly. In front of the whole family, Mrs. Fang declared that Ji Xuan and Lin Qi had to move out. She had arranged a blind date for Qiu Fei with someone else. Qiu Fei looked at Ji Xuan, but he didn't object to his girlfriend's mother's decision. Back in their room, Qiu Fei's father knew his wife was only trying to stimulate Ji Xuan's feelings. Mrs. Fang saw that Ji Xuan's character wasn't bad and wanted to turn the fake into the real. Seeing Ji Xuan packing his things, Lin Qi sneered at his friend, saying he was so poor that he only had his pride left. He thought Ji Xuan constantly charged for physical contact to remind himself not to fall for Qiu Fei. If Ji Xuan easily gave up on Qiu Fei, He wouldn't have stayed to compete with Lin Ke. Ji Xuan admitted he liked Qiu Fei, but couldn't stay at her house forever. Lin Ke confided that Jin Ming had decided to quit being a rented boyfriend. Now, he only wanted to express his feelings to Jin Ming. Meeting Jin Ming in the living room, Lin Ke approached her and confessed, "I like you, Jin Ming. I'm sorry for causing you to be exposed to your parents. I'm serious about my feelings for you, but I'll pay off all your rent because I want to give you my purest feelings." Jin Ming unexpectedly kissed Lin Ke. She forbade her boyfriend from smiling foolishly at other women. Finally, Lin Ke had conquered the queen, Jin Ming. Back in his room, Lin Ke told Ji Xuan that Jin Ming had just confessed her feelings successfully. Jin Ming agreed to move out and live with him. Ji Xuan wanted to give himself a chance and went to find Qiu Fei. But when facing her, he couldn't speak. The next day, Jin Ming and Lin Ke moved out. Mrs. Fang admired other people's children. Their love blossomed quickly. Ji Xuan's turn came. He made an excuse about his car being late to delay a bit. Seeing Qiu Fei go outside, Mrs. Fang urged her daughter to quickly go to the blind date. She didn't want to keep the other person waiting. Seeing Ji Xuan sitting motionless, Mrs. Fang complained that young people today weren't as impulsive as in her time. She deliberately bragged that she had arranged a blind date for her daughter at a famous restaurant online called Little Paris. People rumored that all the couples who went on blind dates there were successful. Ji Xuan, afraid of losing Qiu Fei, quickly ran after her. Qiu Fei's blind date was Dr. Lai. Liking Qiu Fei's cuteness, Dr. Lai hoped for a chance to date her. Hearing Dr. Lai calculate the calories in the meal, Qiu Fei unconsciously thought of Ji Xuan. She couldn't control herself and cried. Just then, Ji Xuan appeared in front of Qiu Fei. He apologized to Dr. Lai for his rudeness. However, he insisted on taking his girlfriend out. Outside, Ji Xuan asked Qiu Fei to go home first. He had to handle something and would come find her later. In front of his future in-laws, Ji Xuan admitted he was truly an orphan. At Qiu Fei's house, he felt the warmth of a family for the first time. Ji Xuan insisted that although his start with Qiu Fei wasn't pure, his feelings for her were sincere. Besides Qiu Fei, he also liked the warm atmosphere of her family. Ji Xuan hoped her parents would give him a chance to become a member of their family. Qiu Fei's father was worried that Ji Xuan, having been a rented boyfriend, might get involved with many girls. Ji Xuan proved he had deleted all contact with his clients. He decided he wouldn't be a rented boyfriend for anyone else, making Qiu Fei feel relieved. Qiu Fei finally waited for Ji Xuan's return. He gave his client a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a warm and kind boyfriend, without having to pay. Qiu Fei, I want to be your full-time boyfriend. Only for you. All my services are free. I need a kiss to seal our lifelong love contract. The next day, Ji Xuan and Qiu Fei said goodbye to their parents and went to the city to work. Ji Xuan continued his work in the theater company. He often had to refuse former clients because he had to stay faithful to his girlfriend. Qiu Fei dressed beautifully to visit her boyfriend. Many girls in the theater company were loyal fans of Qiu Fei's new dating game. Jin Ming and Lin Ke happened to pass by. Tired of the younger man image, Jin Ming had Lin Ke play the role of a domineering chairman who only loved her. That evening, Qiu Fei put on beautiful makeup for their date, making Ji Xuan stare at her in amazement. He said he was acting in a play and wanted to invite Qiu Fei to watch it. Unexpectedly, Ji Xuan had hidden a ring behind the ticket. Qiu Fei, will you marry me? Ji Xuan, even if you're not the lead, it's okay. Because in your story, I always play the leading role. I will always be your loyal fan, supporting you for life. In the end, the love that began with a lie was rewarded with sincerity. Ji Xuan, from a pretend boyfriend, became Qiu Fei's real boyfriend. Hopefully, they will keep the flame of their love burning and hold hands to overcome all difficulties. The movie ends here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos.